So you've got that annoying friend that can just eat whatever the heck they want. They never seem to exercise and they stay super slim. How do they do it? Today we're going to delve in and discover the reasons why these people maintain such a slim physique and seemingly do nothing. Hey guys, Alex here. So how do they do it? How do these people stay naturally slim? Is it magic? Well, let me tell you, I have done a fair bit of research. Being a bit of a diet nerd, I have been looking into the reasons why some people magically stay so slim. The first reason I want to point out is that pretty much most of these people have never dieted. They seem to just eat what they want, and sometimes they'll probably eat a lot of takeaway, chocolates, chips, you know, food that we see as bad foods, but still stay so slim. Well, I think the psychology to that is that because they've never dieted, they've never had that sense of deprivation. Therefore, they have been able to self-regulate their diet. So most of these people are able to eat till they're full and then stop. Now most of us, we find that quite hard to do. But naturally slim people, because they've never put that sense of restriction on themselves, will find it really easy. Because they've never had what I call the diet cage, they are never preoccupied with food. In fact, they never think twice about the food choices they make. They eat the food they want instinctively, and then they stop when they're full. So that there is the one thing. Now, you might be saying, well, how do I unlearn all this information I know about calorie counting and portion sizing? That comes down to retraining your eating behaviours. And I'm going to touch on that in a few of the points I make a bit later. Next point why naturally slim people are naturally slim is they never stop moving. Now, you might think, my friend, she's so lazy, but you would probably be quite shocked to see, in fact, how much coincidental exercise or incidental exercise that person does. Now, things like standing all day, if you were a hairdresser, or another occupation, which means that you have to be on your feet all day, burns a lot of calories. You can actually burn up to, for anywhere between 100 to 300 calories more per day just by standing rather than sitting. Fidgeters. Naturally slim people tend to be fidgeters. Whether it's sort of doing this all day, it's the foot that won't stop tapping, it's the constant stretching or jiggling around. Fidgeting can also burn an extra few hundred calories a day. Who knew? Naturally slim people also tend to do a lot of walking, whether it's to work, whether it's to take the kids to kindy or school. They may take the stairs instead of the elevator. They may cycle instead of drive. All of these things count up to your activity points over the day. Now, naturally slim people, yes, can be genetically blessed into having what we say a faster metabolism. It can also come down to your hormone levels. And many of us have hormone imbalances that we're not even aware of. Now, two very important hormones in the body attribute to weight gain or weight loss. The first one is leptin. And leptin is the kind of hormone you want to encourage in your body. Leptin is the appetite regulator. And the more leptin you have in your body, the more likely you are to be to have those stronger signals saying that you're full after a meal or during a meal. Leptin is also encouraged more by a more heavier carbohydrate diet. So people who have sort of messed around with, say, low carb or higher fat diets might actually be leptin deficient. And what can happen then is that a creepy old gremlin of a hormone which is actually quite apt seeing that it's called ghrelin, not gremlin, ghrelin, creeps in and starts to elevate in the body. Now ghrelin is the hormone that you want to lower. Ghrelin is the one that gives you the hangries. It makes you hungry and you cannot stop being hungry all day. Now you might notice that when you're particularly stressed, and stress can definitely increase the level of ghrelin in the body, or just tired can also make you think that you need fat and sugar all day long. So if these hormones are imbalanced in the body, then that could also mean why you find it incredibly difficult to lose body fat. So how do you regulate these hormones? Well, it's actually easier than you think. Decreasing stress can really help. Approaching your diet and making sure that you are in fact getting a more balanced level of carbohydrate in the diet, which by the way is absolutely necessary for building muscle, supporting your workouts, making you feel happy, because without carbohydrates we don't get that much serotonin in the brain. And of course encouraging that leptin. Getting enough sleep is so important to balance those hormones. If you are sleep deprived, you're going to find that old gremlin ghrelin comes crawling in there, and it's very hard to control that appetite. So this then brings me to my next point, emotional eating. I know I'm a culprit. Many of my friends are culprits. We eat when we're bored, we eat when we're sad, we eat when we're happy. We tend to not eat all the time when we're actually hungry. So how do we follow the cues of naturally slim people and only eat when we're hungry? So if you find yourself in a food coma, start counting from 5 to 1. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Easy. What that does is it halts that behavior at that point in time, and it signals to you that you have a choice. You have a choice to either keep doing what you're doing, which is probably emotionally upsetting, even though it feels like a cure, and you have the choice to stop. Step away from the ice cream. So those are 2 little techniques you can try if you are an emotional eater. Now what can also happen in naturally slim people is, because they self-regulate, what they do is they might have a great big feed here if they go to the movies or have a dinner with friends, but then what they might do is actually skip meals. Now what can happen if someone who has got the diet mentality is we're used to eating, say, maybe 3 meals a day, 6 meals a day, and we become used to that habit of eating at certain times in the day. And what can happen is that we think, in the morning I have to have breakfast, therefore I will eat breakfast, without actually thinking to myself, am I hungry? So we've almost, with this dieting, lost our ability to even recognize if we're actually hungry or not. What naturally slim people seem to be able to do is tap into that really well. So they only eat when they're hungry. And there are studies to show that skipping meals isn't always a bad thing. If your energy levels are fine, if you're hydrated, and you're not hungry, there's really no point in eating. Something to think about there. So I hope that this has maybe shed some light on why your annoying friend is so slim without seemingly even setting foot in a gym or even eating a salad in their whole life. There are some very scientific reasons behind that. So stop giving them a hard time and maybe take a cue out of their book. I'm Alex, thanks for watching.